Hello and welcome to the Creature of Habit YouTube channel. Okay, not really, but that's what it feels like. Anytime that I try to do something that is out of the norm, it just never works out. For those of you who are new around here, I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and with me, as always, of course, is my brother from another mother, James from Print N Play.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, so I was trying to get a microphone set up so I could have a decent mic hooked into my phone so that when I do the garage tour, there's a decent microphone. It is raining pretty good right now, and it's probably going to rain harder. And if it is still raining when I go to do the garage tour, it's going to be infinitely loud. So, but I don't know. I couldn't really get a microphone hooked up right, so you're just gonna have to deal with the phone mic. Now, I was going to have the wife come out and read chat for me while I did it, but then I realized that I have a James, and James can read chat.
Glad to be of service.
You can read of any questions that come up, right?
I do have the ability to read.
Well, that is good. That is a step in the right direction, and I am connected to you, and hopefully I'll be able to hear things that you say.
I can read at a grade 13 level, which I think by like conversion is like university or college in the States. Is that how that works? I forget how the conversion rate works between them.
Yeah, it's like a doctorate here.
Yeah.
So running down the chat, we got Brian, Builders Market here, Nadav is here. Brian's very active already in the chat. Alan Osborne, Sergio HVAC A to Z is here.
We had some early birds today.
Yeah. Brian is most definitely here. Brian's definitely here. Ollie is here. There's Brian again. Clint is here. Uncle Ron is here. So Clint doesn't have a wrench. I'm going to give Clint a wrench.
Because everybody else has got one right now.
Pretty much.
All I see is an infinite sea of blue.
Okay, now Clint has a wrench. Uncle Ron is here. Tom Elrod is here. Scott Hackmonkey is here. Uncle Ron said, I want to hear your garage in a hailstorm. So let me tell you what. I don't want to hear it in a hailstorm because I don't want it to get hit by hail. But when it is sprinkling, it sounds like it is downpouring in there. Like you'll be in there and it'll just start to sprinkle and you're like, holy cow, it's really coming down. And you open the door and it's just barely sprinkling outside. So
yeah, as I've talked about in I think probably the previous two, we put up a gazebo around that cheap hot tub that we bought. It was raining today, and we both said, "Oh, it'd be it's not thunderstorms. It'd be nice to be out there when you got that pitter patter of rain." Well, it's the same type of thing, right? It's this canvas material, and it's kind of like not quite as tight as a drum, but everything that hits it is amplified. And then we're sitting there, and you start to get relaxing, and the water pools a little bit out, and there's drain holes. So every time the water gets to the point where it can reach one of those drain holes, it just drops the water straight down onto the tarp that's around the hot tub. So like, oh, what's that? Oh yeah, I look over and it's just coming out.
Nice cold rainwater coming down while you're in the hot tub.
Yeah. So we put the hot tub up by another 10 degrees. Like, that's to this noise.
Sorry, just had to go down to the basement for a second. Oh. Yeah.
Dad was still first. They were here 6 hours early.
That's crazy.
That's dedication to something that doesn't matter.
That's dedication to something that I'm not even that dedicated to.
You were here like well before Glenn even thought about maybe even hosting it today.
Yeah, I was probably still in bed 6 hours ago. No, I did a lot of filming today. I learned some lessons today, which is usually the way it goes when you film. So
I've learned that I'm not great at it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm training my new camera lady, and
is your new camera lady wearing a ring?
Yes. So she's very eager to help, and so I gave her the duty of turn on the camera, turn off the camera.
Hold on. You said duty.
I did say duty. But just to turn the camera on and then turn it off. So I had all the different pieces in separate cuts. And there was one point where the camera was running, and I'm not going to give anything away. You just have to wait. But the camera was running, and I went to grab it to shoot some B-roll, not whole. And I didn't realize it was running, and I turned it off to shoot the B-roll, and then turned it back on when I put it back on the tripod. And so then the next scene, she turned it off. so that was fun. But a lot of the stuff, like, you film it 3 or 4 times because you don't know how things are going to work out. So I think it'll be fine. And if not, I'll just shoot it again tomorrow. It's no big deal. It's not like it's costing me film. So
the only snag I run into is that I'll make a mistake, not the same one as that, but like I'll position a camera and right before I start recording, I'll bump it by accident and it'll be pointed like slightly off or whatever. And then a lot of the stuff that I do, I can't turn around and redo it because it's been done.
Because you can't undo it. Yeah.
Oh, before we go to the garage, do you want to see the new toy that showed up this week?
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to run out to the garage right away. I thought we'd like wait till about the 5 o'clock hour to give time for everybody to get here.
That's fair. We're still a few people short of our regular load.
We're actually already at 10.
We're at double digits.
Yeah. Woo!
Oh, I'm glad I launched those other 8 instances.
People are excited to see my mess.
So I pre-ordered this back last year, and it wasn't supposed to be here until like later in the summer. But
is that a Stream Deck?
It is.
Sweet.
Steam Deck. It's a Steam Deck.
Sorry, yeah. Sorry. The Stream Deck is my little buttons down here.
Yeah. There we go.
Pretty fancy.
It is a little on the heavier side, but I would say probably not quite as heavy as it looks like it is. Like Kay used it and she goes, "Oh, it's got a good weight for it for the, for everything it is." It is legit. Was that Kay?
I don't think I'd want them too light.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, you don't want it so heavy that by the time you're done gaming with it, your arms are slugging, right? But it's not, it's a bit heavier than a Switch, but also a bit more capable since it's a full-blown AMD PC on the inside.
Right.
I mean, it's essentially a laptop in a different form factor, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, but yeah, it works pretty well. I did buy one of these guys. It's not designed for it or whatever, but it's USB-C dock that has HDMI out.
I got one of those.
And it works with this. So I was able to hook it up and use that. Like I tried basically using it as a computer for a bit. And it's because you can switch to desktop mode. It's just running a flavor of Linux.
Oh, that's
and if you're really keen to do it, you can actually wipe it and install Windows on it if you want.
No, but you could install some Pi-hole on there.
I mean, I feel like spending $700 on a machine to run your Pi-hole is... I know a lot of people that run their Pi-hole a little too much, to be honest.
I run my Pi-hole entirely too often.
There's been a change in the back. Swapped out the pedestal Mac with the like the original iMac. This guy right here.
It's pretty fancy.
I like the way this turned out.
It is. It looks really nice. I like the spot of the lighting. It gives you a nice highlight, lights your wall.
I'm debating on if I'm going to do another bead of it at the top shining down or if I like just the glow. Nope. I need to see what it's like. So on the webcam, it looks one way. I have to see the way it looks on my filming camera separately because the light balancing is different.
Okay.
But yeah, when I originally started doing some test footage, it looked darker.
It looks good the way it is, at least on this camera.
And then I was able to free up a little more space by stacking the Commodore and the Mac floppy drives over there. So
it's pretty cool.
And then I've got a Commodore 64, the second version, an Atari 600, I always forget the name of that computer, and then the IBM PC convertible. That's the one that the LCD screen detaches so you can use it as a desktop computer. Back when they thought, oh, you know what? If you want to use this as a desktop computer, don't just close the lid. No, you got to take the screen off of it. That's so people know it's in desktop mode. And also, it was like twice as expensive as similar options at the time, and the screen isn't backlit.
Wow.
But the battery still holds a charge.
Yeah. I want everybody to know that James is not actually showing you his backdrop. He's just flaunting all that wood he's got back there.
Hey, family-friendly channel.
If anybody said anything good in chat, say it again, because
Glenn Hogue said greetings from Alabama.
That's pretty good. Hello, Glenn. Uncle Ron said, "What is bee-hole? I'm an a-hole, but never heard of a bee-hole." It's where the bees live, on like the side of a tree. Bee-hole.
And I think Uncle Ron needs to understand that if he's not careful, his bees might escape. So he should probably shut his bee-hole right now.
Well, and if you close your bee-hole when the bees are out of it, they might go into your a-hole.
Ironically, in this situation, the a-hole is the backup.
Hey Vince, how are you feeling?
Was he under the weather?
Yeah, he's got this problem where he's entirely too dedicated and works too hard. So,
did you see? I'm not going to get into it because it's bordering politics. But did you see the thing that the statement that Elon Musk made this week, praising China's workers for working until 3:00 in the morning? He's like, Americans don't want to go to work at all, and here they are burning the 3 a.m. oil. And I was like, that's not coming off the way you think it is, bud.
No, and it came right after he made all those people like sleep in the factory because of the lockdown.
Yeah. It's like, I hate to tell you this, but I don't think there's too many people in the world that want to be working until 3:00 in the morning. Like, I know there's people that work like shifts that end at 3 a.m. I'm talking about the people that start at 9 a.m. They don't still want to be work. I've had shifts that go till 2 or 3 in the morning. And
no, but in fairness, like, and I don't know how it is there in the Kanadas, but like here, nobody wants to work. Xander and I went out for dinner on Friday. Priscilla took Zach to a concert Friday night. So they were gone. They stayed in a hotel. And so Xander and I went out for dinner Friday night, went to Chili's, one of my favorite restaurants. Love Chili's. And no matter what the Andrews from Gloop says, go to Chili's. They'll tell you it's gross and they'll want to go to Steak and Shake. Don't do it. Just go to Chili's. It'll be fine. But like there was like a 20 to 25 minute wait to get a table, but half the restaurant was empty because they didn't have the staff to wait all the tables. So no, I don't know. I don't know how people are doing it. Like, people are not going to work. How are they surviving? Because I want a piece of that action.
Okay, so I think you have to dig into it a little bit, because first of all, you have to see what the unemployment rates are there. Because I know a lot of people here that were working in the fast food industry and stuff like that, and then as things got shut down, and there was like a period of like a month where a lot of people were being told like stay home, and like they got an emergency government grant just for that period of time. It didn't extend or anything.
Right.
A lot of them found that they could get jobs working from home, doing like online stuff, and not like fly by night. There's lots of companies that are like, we need people to do like front end support or whatever. So we're hiring, and it was same pay or better as working in fast food. You don't have to go in and, one of the complaints is I don't come home smelling like fast food anymore.
But it's not even just fast food here. I mean, it's all restaurants, but delivery people, truck drivers. Walmart was touting for a while that they would pay up to they were saying between $95,000 and $110,000 a year to drive a truck for Walmart. And you didn't even have to have any experience. They would train you. I considered it, except for it was long haul, and I don't want to be away from home.
Yeah.
So, I can drive a truck. I can literally drive a truck with my eyes closed, but
I think it gets complicated because I think there's a lot of right answers that all contribute to the same thing. There's a lot of people that found better job options during this time. I'm sure there's some people that are like, I don't want to go back to doing that, and that's the way they feel about it, and they've figured out other ways to survive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was doing the math, trying to figure out how much of a pay cut I would take if I just went to work for Chick-fil-A. It would be far less stressful than what I do. And let me tell you, because I'm in the construction industry, and right now everything is so crazy. Like companies that would give you a quote that was good for 6 months, the quotes are now only good for 30 days. Well, in the construction industry, we may be bidding jobs that aren't going to take off for 6 months to a year. So it causes all kinds of problems. And it just, I mean, day in and day out, it's so stressful. And then a little dig at the company I work for. I'll preface this with I love the company I work for. I love the owners. But again, it's construction. So we'll bid a job and then 6 months later, we'll get that job. They'll honor the original proposal we'll send, and then everybody goes into a tailspin because things cost more. And it's like, well, you honored a proposal from 6 months ago. Of course, it's more expensive. So I don't know. It's just crazy. Scott
The
said
world will adapt eventually.
Yeah, Scott said we had to put a roof on last fall. The quote on the plywood decking was good for 4 days. I don't remember. Let's see. It would have been right around the whole Y2K. It would have been right around 2000 because that's when I had my computer store. But we went through a span where memory was such a volatile market that we would have to call every morning and see what the daily memory prices were. And when we quoted a computer, we had to tell the people, listen, I'm quoting you this. If you buy it today, it's going to be this price. Tomorrow, it may be a little more or it may be a little less. So,
yeah.
Mark said, I went to 15-day estimates. Yeah, it's getting to be insane. So, and it's like, and I guess I'm a little spoiled. I've been doing this now for 6 years, a little better than 6 years. And there's certain things. So for those who don't know, when you lay a concrete slab, when you're going to put a house on it or a building on it, here in Florida anyway, you have to put down vapor barrier. I don't know if it applies everywhere else, but it's visqueen, it's poly, and so you poison the soil, termite treatment, then you put the plastic down, and then the concrete goes on top of that. It's not like up north where you have to do crushed rock or anything because we have sand. So that visqueen was the same price for forever. It just didn't even matter. I didn't even have to think about it. Now I have to get quotes on that for every job. Like just stupid stuff, like things that you were so used to being the same every day isn't anymore. And then of course steel for the rebar and stuff has gotten Yep. So, but I need to find out the secret of not working at all, but still being able to pay my bills. That's the secret that I need. Not because I don't want to work. What's that?
The closest you're going to get is if your YouTube stuff takes off.
Well, that's why I wanted it, so that I can dedicate 100% of my time to my YouTube channel, but I need to still be able to pay my bills.
I would love to be able to do my videos where I'm not just loading up a game and like getting just far enough that I can do the testing, and then that's as far as I go. So I play a game for 10 minutes and then switch to another one to get the footage from that. So it's like not fun. It's just this is showing the performance of XYZ. I would love it if I could be like, okay, I'm gonna have one day dedicated to getting my video capture for the games, and I play for 8 hours straight. That's such a I know that's like the Twitch dream job, right? Like everyone wants to make money playing video games, but same as you love working on cars. You love turning wrench. That's what you find relaxing.
Well, but you know what's crazy is I could go get a job getting paid to turn wrench. The thing is I don't want to do repairs. I don't want to fix people's alternator. I don't want to change oil. I don't want to do spark plugs. I don't want, I don't want to do normal repair stuff. I like to do the customizing and the cool stuff. And I realize there's jobs for that too, but it's far more limited. And then I also like to work at my own pace. For those who don't know, I'm slightly ADD, so I might be in the middle of working on something and realize I didn't do something else, and then I just shift over and do that. So, like, Yeah, but
Uncle Ron says a perfect job is 1 day a week from 12 to 12:30 with a half hour for lunch.
that's right.
Brian asked if I'm having camera issues. I am not. Mrs. Print and Play is wandering back and forth across the thing, and she's not.
She's camera shy.
She's camera shy. She's in her PJs.
Oh, not PJs.
Yeah.
That's all right. I'm not wearing any pants, so I'm not.
My shirt ends here. You can't tell.
I have shorts on. I'm not wearing pants.
It's true. I'm wearing sweatpants today because it was cold in the basement.
Oh my God. It is 1 million degrees here. So we'll turn a short story into a long story because I like those. Zach went to the concert Friday night. Saturday morning, he was complaining about a sore throat. We just figured it was from hollering and stuff at the concert. He's a huge Hanson fan. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, he loves his mbop?
Was that way too old of a reference? Should I have gone with something newer?
I only remember mbop.
I think that's the only thing they ever did. No, it was Matthew West, his absolute favorite artist. So Priscilla took him to the concert. But I got to looking in his throat yesterday, and he had little white spots in the back of his throat. So this morning he went to the clinic to get some antibiotics.
Okay.
So instead of getting to film everything first thing this morning, we didn't film until about 1 in the afternoon, and it was already 10 billion degrees. And I generally have to film with the big doors down because if I don't, people honk when they go by, or my neighbors will randomly stop, or they'll holler stuff like, hurry up and get that thing done. And then it's on my video. Yeah, because my neighbors are nuts. So I was filming with the door down, and I can't run my big exhaust fan because it's a little bit too noisy. And yeah, so it was hot. So and it'll be the next video that comes out that has all this in it. But so by the time I got done filming all the interview scenes, I went outside to film the intro, and I have a sweat line right here in my t-shirt. Oh, it was so hot.
Right under the manatees.
Yep. At least it wasn't like pit drips. Ugh. Glenn Hoke said on the 5th, some fool backed into the interstate from the shoulder into my lane, hitting the side of my van, totaling it. Insurance offers a bit over $3,000 short of replacement. That sucks. And I hope that you're okay. I mean, all items can be replaced, but see that just shouldn't even be allowed. I mean, the guy backing in shouldn't be allowed, but
you pay so much money into insurance every single year, and then they can still leave you with just shy of what you need to actually go about your life again.
They should have to replace it,
yeah.
Equal or better. And there was an insurance company that used to tout that as their thing, that they would get you a vehicle 1 year newer, or they would cover.
I remember those commercials. I don't remember which company it was, but I do remember the commercials.
Yeah, well, they just get you some other way, but I don't know. Insurance. In fact, I used to own insurancecompanysuck.com. But yeah, they always get you in some form or fashion. The only insurance company I've ever dealt with that was decent, two. Auto insurance was Liberty Mutual, though they are very expensive, so they can afford to just pay things out. And then whoever my current homeowners insurance is, I almost said homeowners association, don't got one of those.
Don't want one of those.
No, they won't take me. Someday I'll do a tour of the yard. If you really want to know, you can just Google map it. I'm not that hard to find. But yeah, when we got hit by lightning a couple years back and it knocked out, it was almost $13,000 worth of stuff. And other than my $1,000 deductible, they covered everything and didn't raise my rates so. Glenn said his insurance has to pay for it. I only carry liability coverage. They devalue mine because it has short of 300,000 miles on it. It's just getting broken in. There's nothing wrong with 300,000 miles. I got a motor with 248,000.
I heard you had a motor with like 70,000 on it.
I do have I have a motor with it's 77,000. I thought I misquoted and told everybody it was 72,000. It was not. It was 77,000.
Doesn't matter.
Not that really fixes the issue. But you know, full transparency and full disclosure. You know, you guys know I don't hide things.
Yeah, you don't get caught in what looks like a lie later when it's not a big deal now.
Right. And you know, not that I'm driving the truck yet, because I'm just now prepping the Cummins to go on the Ford frame.
Oh, does that mean you have a video coming out soon?
I'm hoping it'll be out on Friday. But yesterday I was driving it, and don't pay any attention to my check engine light because that'll never go away. But I rolled 77,777.77 miles.
I have to step away for 1 second.
Okay.
I will be right back.
Alan King said, plug for what? What am I plugging now? I didn't plug anything. Oh, but speaking of plugs, I do want to tell you that back here I was printing some Jesse PLA. Isn't that pretty? It's a really nice color. I was hoping to actually complete the print, but my printer got thermal runaway, and I think the problem is the wind mouth is crapped on it, and I need to print a new one because it got all melty from the big blob. But what I do want to plug, I don't know if you guys seen, but Printed Solid is raising the price on Jesse PLA by $1 a spool, just because costs on everything have gone up. And David said that technically at the rate that they've been selling it, they're losing money on it. So that shows you how tight of a margin it is on PLA. So if you're within Printed Solid's selling area, please support those guys. They are magnificent. This is not a paid advertisement. Printed Solid does not give me anything but a hard time. So this is a free play. That's not true. David's pretty awesome, and he's supported the channel really well over the years. But support those guys. Don't buy just filament from them. Buy other stuff from them too. Andy is here. He says, good evening to you, sir. I hope you are all well. I am doing well. It is was a good day today. I got quite a bit accomplished. So I am definitely hoping, and I can't let any cats out of the bag. You know, I like to blab to you guys, but hopefully the video that's coming out on Friday will be acceptable. And then after that video releases, I'll explain why I said that. So Nightbot wants you to know if you want some Fun King 3D apparel and other stuffs, check out Teespring. I don't even know if that link works anymore. I need to go in and update that. But Fun King Garage merch is coming super soon. It's really already here. I just haven't had the time to get it set up. And then I am going to get some new Fun King 3D merch available as well. Scott said, Dave said he would drop prices as soon as his cost drops. Also, stand-up guy, I try to buy as much as I can from them. You know, at $1 a spool, honestly, I wouldn't care if they left it. I mean, more power to them. That's the way business works. You're in business to make money. He's got to pay his employees. He's got to pay rent. So, you know, it's just kind of the way it goes. Brian said it must be hot in Florida. Landlord came back to New York. It is. It is unbelievably hot here. So I am starting to question my decision to move from a inside air conditioned type YouTube channel to a working in the heat, not air conditioned channel. I just need to find myself a sponsor that will either pay enough that I can air condition the shop, or an air conditioning sponsor. But what I need really is somebody who does commercial roll-up garage doors. I need some garage door help. That's what I need. So Brian says 84 here. It is right now it is 1,000 degrees. No, It updated at 4:30. I'll update it now. It's actually only 73 here now, but that's because it is pouring rain. Get a Mr. Cool. Are you talking about like a swamp? I think we call them swamp coolers here. Porta-Cool. And I looked at one. There's one major problem with two major problems with those. One, they put a lot of moisture into the air, which is not good for auto parts and tools. It'll cause rust. The other problem is they're big, and then it's just one more big thing that I have sitting around. So I put in the exhaust fan in the end wall of the garage, which I'll show you when we go out there. It takes the very, very hot air off of the ceiling, which does help, but it's just such a massive amount of space that I cannot ventilate the whole entire place fast enough. So, but Glenn Hogue said my letter carrier refuses to deliver packages to me. Why is that? I think I would file a claim against them. Today's the hottest we've had so far. It actually hit 68. I would take 68. That'd be pretty nice. Clint said 8 degrees Celsius right now here in Sweden. 8 degrees. What is that? Alexa, what is 8 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit? 46.4 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty nice. I'd take that. So, Brian, it does have an insulation in it, but it's radiant barrier insulation, which is, it's a thin, it's like about a 1/4 inch, 6 millimeters thick. And what it does is it stops the radiant heat from the sun from coming in. And it makes a huge difference. If you stand in the doorway, you bake. And then if you step off to the side, that goes away. But if I was ever actually going to air condition it, I would spray foam the whole entire thing. So she can't be bothered to get out of the car to put things on the porch. Yeah, I would. I would be calling the postmaster about that. That's unacceptable. I at some point was getting so many packages every day back before Amazon was delivering here directly, and it was all coming through the post office. I installed a new, much larger mailbox. Some people call it a shed. No, it's not that big, but it is a pretty ridiculously large. I'll get a picture of it and show you guys. But
is it something you repurposed into a mailbox, or is it very clearly a mailbox?
No, my former pseudo brother-in-law was he was a welder by trade. They built stainless steel kitchens, and he had built one of these for the owner's house. And then my sister started saying she wanted a new mailbox, thinking he would make her just like a regular mailbox out of stainless. And he brought this thing home, and she wouldn't put it up in front of the house because it was too large. And I said, well, how large is it? And she said, it takes up the whole back of my Suburban. And I'm like, what? And so I seen it, and I'm like, it's not that big. And it's not. I mean, the door, when you open the door, it's probably like 1 foot by 1 foot, or maybe 14 by 14 opening. I mean, it's a big mailbox, and it's super heavy. Your camera's blitzing out if you didn't know. But 2-2.
Sorry, I'm fixing something, and I am listening. I just didn't expect when I plugged this in for it to go nuts.
Oh, that's all right. I think Uncle Ron, I don't know if Uncle Ron's texting me or, oh yeah, Uncle Ron's sending me images. Isn't technology great?
You know, it really is sometimes. There.
Oh, he sent me a picture of his truck rolling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on his way to his way to his first Murph. So, I did the mailbox. Well, I did the mailbox because it was available, because my sister didn't want it, but mainly just to stop my mail carrier from having to come to the porch every day. And then my lazy teenage son, who's supposed to get the mail every day, doesn't. So it works out because Oh, that's funny. I just got, they say that they don't ever listen. They're listening. I just got a U.S. Postal Service 5-minute survey request.
That was not Wolfenstein. That was Super Mario Brothers Advance on the Game Boy Advance.
Tomas, Maker Viking, is here.
Welcome, Maker Viking. I plugged the so Kay needed something upstairs, and I was well upstairs. I'm like, oh, I'll grab an HDMI cable, and then I can plug the Steam Deck into the HDMI capture on my computer and show it off after you're done your garage walkthrough, which we're getting pretty close to the time. And by that, I mean we went 7 minutes over.
The rain has calmed down, so this would probably be a good time to do it.
Well, let's do it, man. Let's go for a walk.
Okay.
I'll reach chat off to you.
What I'm going to do, I'm going to mute this mic, and then I'm going to step out into the garage. No, let's see. How do I want to do this? Maybe I'll take myself out of the out of chat and put myself back in the green room. I'm going to join on my phone. I've never done StreamYard from my. Oh, I got Stream Deck in my head.
You know, if we were at all smart, we would have tested this before.
Oh no. There's no reason.
What's that Bill O'Reilly guy say? We'll do it live.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bleep it. We'll do it live.
But yeah, so I'm going to take myself out. I'll leave James in, and then I'm going to turn my mic off. Mute my speakers. Then I'll join by phone. It seems like a lot. All right, muting.
Go. But come on, your fan demands it. Get it? Singular? Your fan? Glenn can't hear us, so we can say whatever we want about him. Just go already, it says HVAC A to C. A to Z, not A to C. I apologize. We all know you run the full alphabet. Yeah, that's okay. If you're only here for the shop tour.
Who's only here for the shop tour? Gosh. Okay, so I don't know if it's a pie hole problem or if it's another problem, but I can't click links out of Twitter as of sometime today. So,
like on your phone?
On anything on my network.
That's weird.
So, well, I block a lot of things. So, I just have to send myself the link again. It'll be fine. I'm pretty sure I know how to do that.
I got a box of old computer parts from, I think I talked about this a little bit last week too. A guy whose father passed away and had a bunch of stuff in his basement. And like, it was the most random sort of stuff. There's a bunch of speakers in there, but the cones were all ripped out of them. So it was just the magnet, like the drivers. And then sitting in the bottom of it was this, remember we were talking about these? I was describing these a couple weeks ago, the Pentium 2 MMX, where you could see the pins from the top.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that a weird looking processor?
Well, it makes it easier to test it. You can probe it that way.
Is that actually why they did it like that?
No, I have no idea.
I assumed that their manufacturing process involved them like pushing the pin in through the top and then like basically like pot riveting it.
That would be so crazy dangerous to try to probe that if it was live.
Now I kind of want to try.
Okay, so my big gripe with StreamYard is the way they have you log in. It's terrible. I mean, it's secure, but it's terrible.
Look at the size of the pins on this thing compared to what we get nowadays. Like, these pins are big enough that you can actually straighten them with your fingernails versus the ones today where it's like, if you look at it wrong, it just snaps. Yeah. That pin wasn't even bent. Now it's on the ground.
I was just thinking about it and it broke off.
I saw a Twitter post the other day, or not a Twitter post, a Reddit post the other day. And somebody got, did you watch any of Shorzy?
No, not yet. I haven't.
So actually, I'll talk about it offline because I want to give you some information, but it's it's identifying for me in terms of where I come from and potentially like. Anyways, it doesn't matter. But anyways, the entire show is pretty funny. It does not. You can tell it's the same world as Letterkenny, but it's not the same type of episode at all, series at all. There's obviously a storyline from beginning to end for the season. Also, the guy that plays Shorzy, who also plays Wayne, like, I mean, because I know it's hard for me to say whether or not I'd be like, oh, if I didn't know it was the same person, I wouldn't know it was the same person. But
oh, really?
He did a real good job at because he holds his face differently. He has his eyes wide open, and he's got like this like really trashy scruff on his face. Like it just, you know what I mean? Like he's. There's this thing basically he's like where he constantly talking about, I never want to lose another game in my life. I cry. And they're like, you're weak. And he like basically he's like, I cry every time we lose. And anyways.
All right, I'm gonna mute you.
Because
then
I'll
join by phone.
Good luck. Used to straighten out the pins by sandwiching between two razor blades. Yeah, that would work. So, sorry, I missed some chatter. Brian, yes, it has been hot. We had some into the 30 C's weather this week, and now it's dropped back down by 10 degrees or so. So it's still warm, but it's not uncomfortably warm.
Can you hear me?
Oh, look, we found your biggest fan. No, nothing? Oh, you can't hear me.
I can barely hear you, so I'm going to put these on.
Okay. I said, hey, look, we found your biggest fan.
Unfortunately, it didn't switch to these.
But
can you hear me okay?
I can. You're a little muffled, but like I understand you. Brian says, did you all know that the Sonic movie is Jim Carrey's last movie? It is potentially his last movie. He has said that if the roles are well written, he will come back. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's in Sonic 3 because Sonic 2 made a buttload of money, for a video game movie. So they're doing a new movie and another a TV series based on Knuckles. Yeah, a lot of the newer designs have moved to the pins are on the board and the chips are just pads. Double Glenn.
Okay. So can you hear me now?
What?
Can you hear me? Can
What?
you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
No, we can hear you. Can you hear me now? Good.
I knew you could. I can hear you, yeah. Okay, so what I don't know how to do, I don't know how to flip it.
HVAC A to Z has donated $9.99 to the new garage door fund. Thank you, good sir.
Thank you, Sergio. It is greatly, greatly appreciated. I don't know how to flip cameras. And maybe
there's usually I think there's usually a setting in the StreamYards where you can go in and pick the camera. Do you not have a little gear icon anywhere if you tap the screen?
Oh, all you see is my hand.
I wasn't positive, but I seem to remember doing that. Do you remember I joined the live stream at one point on a drive back with Kay's mom?
Oh, yeah. I remember Walter doing it too, and then Chris said that he was never allowed to do that again.
Why was that?
Because it was awful. The connection was so bad. Okay, so here we go. Now, I'm not going to give you too much of the apartment because Sean hasn't come in to clean the rest of it. So, look at all this crap that he left laying here. No, not really. That's actually my crap from painting in here. But he still does have a whole bunch of stuff. And then the closet, you can't see, but the closet's full. So, and then that's the bathroom, but that's as good of a look as you're going to get because it's dirty. You guys ready for this? I feel like we should have some epic music.
Ba-da-da-da.
All right, so kind of put it in perspective. This being the door to the apartment. This is the door to the outside. That's outside. Still raining. So
I
here,
don't hear the rain much.
no, it's just barely sprinkling. But so this is Sean's knife making area here. That's where he does his paintings, and here's all of his grindings, and
Hey,
you know.
is that my knife?
You mean that one right there?
That looks like a pretty fancy looking knife.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be showing you this, but
It's not focusing anyways. Is it sharp?
Yeah. Oh no, he's got to put the final grind on it. You could still kill somebody with it though. So, and then there's a purple one in there. I don't know who that belongs to. And then there's another one down here in limey green. I don't know who that belongs to either. He was going to come up yesterday and finish them, but he ended up having to work. So, all right, I have to be kind of careful because there's things in here that you guys aren't allowed to see. But, and then if you have any questions, put them in the chat, and then James can read them to me. So, this is I was going to make the biggest fan joke, but that one's not even my biggest fan. So
Yeah, that one blows.
It does. So here we have, I mean, this is all just like, don't come and rob me now because I'm showing you all my stuff, but that's just like power tool storage up there. This is just kind of general junk. That should be my nickname, General Junk. Here we have a.
Okay, show us the things we're not allowed to see.
Show you the things you're not allowed to see?
Yep.
No, I can't. There's certain things in here I can't because they're upcoming projects. But so here's another knife too, a blue one that's got a pink handle. I don't know whose that is either. So
is that the oven he was using for his bakes? Yeah.
So he uses it for doing his Cerakoting, and then I'm going to start doing powder coating. So it's a really nice oven. It's a flat glass top oven and stuff. We got it for free. The guy was trying to sell it. Nobody wanted to buy it. And then he posted it for free, and we went and got it. So,
well, there's something wrong with it, right? There's a reason.
No, there's nothing wrong with it. I should have sold it and bought a crappier one, but we needed an oven. It's a really nice oven, but now it's had chemicals in it. So, and then sandblasting cabinet, drill press, hydraulic press, more tool storage. Oh, what's that? Oh,
that looks like a truck that's not ready to run yet.
No, it's not. It's not ready to run at all.
Are you going to pop the hood, or do we have to wait for the? You should make us wait.
Well, I showed you a picture last week.
That's true.
So I did. I started. Oh, there's a bug on it. I started buffing the hood out right here. Pretty shiny. Yeah, nothing else new on there yet.
What's amazing to me is that like you put it back together between episodes so that it's not just sitting in parts.
Right. No, that's it. I don't because I got to be able to move it. There's other projects that have to come in and out. So I put the whole thing back together. But so
Brian says Glenn has quite the collection.
Collection's a great word for it, and you haven't even seen the worst of it yet.
He says you got him. Are you gonna mod the headlights?
Am I gonna mod the headlights? No modding of the headlights. So when I ran the first Fummins video, I think it was Sergio that said, "Oh, you need to do something about those yellow headlights." No more.
Brian says like go LED, not mod.
Those are LED. Those are not factories. I just installed those Friday night. So this is my garage computer monitor. It's a 37-inch television. And I did that so that I could pull up wiring diagrams and see it, and torque specs and stuff, see it from a distance. So, and then just more crap. This is back here is where I keep all my welding stuff, and cabinets where I keep cleaners and oil and paint, and just crap. I have crap everywhere if you haven't figured that out. These guys are supposed to be up there, but they're heavy and I haven't gotten them up there yet. So, and then a whole wall of crap. Oh, that's the new fan. The new fan up there. Still not my biggest fan, but it does a pretty good job. I want to put another one in over there. So, and then here I'm still set up from today for lightings and stuff from doing my filming. Parts washing tank there. Tall storage where I keep like metals and pipe and all that stuff. This is what's left of the Dodge. I got a fender and then the dashboard and just a bunch of parts from the Dodge, and then the carpets back there. These are motors for a Eagle Talon Mitsubishi Eclipse. This is a motor and transmission out of my 66 T-Bird, which that car is going to get rebuilt, but that motor's not going back in it. That's a 460 big block, which is pretty exciting. I have a stoplight. I got it legit. I didn't steal it. It was a retiree. Oh, that's the sad 6'4" that died. Oh, look how shiny them hubcaps are. There's gonna be more information coming on that soon too. That's my biggest.
Did you know you can get lights made that project the Fun King logo?
Yeah, I don't know how safe that would be.
Oh, come on. You got to live dangerously.
I mean, that'd be fun, but I need to be able to see, which is really what the new lights are for. So this is my biggest fan. This is a 48-inch. So that saves my life every day. Some Dodge seats, Dodge door panel, Dodge back seat that weighs 500 million pounds and was held in by 13 bolts. I'm debating on how I want to go through here because there's stuff. I'll go this way first. So right now, this is all one big area. It's only divided out by junk and walkways. So, but 75-gallon fish tank. This thing has been a lifesaver. This is a 1,000-pound capacity hydraulic lift table from Harbor Freight. It has been just absolutely fantastic. All right, we're gonna back up this way. I mean, are you guys getting kind of? Oh, this is my lift. Are you getting the layout here? So this is the. If I stand right here, this is the end 40 feet. This is where I do the bulk of my work. Is in this 40 by 40 area right here. The rest of it's just kind of crap storage. Oh, here I'll show you how bad my garage doors are. Can you see right there?
Yep.
There's holes in the door because it's ripped. It's ripped these hurricane clips get hung up in there, and then it just rips the door open. And in fact, that one got ripped off the other day, and when I went to cut the rest of it off, it took a little of my skin with it. Oh, this is one of my favorite additions to the garage too. That's a fully functioning water fountain. And that thing puts out some gnarly cold water.
Water fountain / urinal, is that what you were saying?
No, I don't pee in that.
Alan King says that's the size of my house.
40 by 40?
Builder's Mark says I have one of those, but I'm not sure what he was referring to because I missed it.
All right, so just more crap that's just kind of piled up. The kids' go-karts.
Brian says, I'm thinking if you ever have a garage sale, I am there.
So I guess I can come back like this. This right here is an upcoming project. I can show you this much of it. That's all you get to see. You don't get to know what's under the cover. And then, oh, that's an upcoming project. So that's all you get out of those two. And then all of Zach's old furniture is just piled up right here. This that's buried underneath all this crap. If you guys see anything you want to buy, you let me know. We'll negotiate out a price, but not my truck. So this is it's completely covered in stuff, but this is my 92 Chevy. It has had everything shaved. It has no handles, no taillights. The taillights are down in the roll pan. You see that? That's definitely an upcoming project. It's completely gutted. Can't even really see in there, but so that's an upcoming project. This is where Sean used to burn knives. That's where he would.
I guess.
What's that?
And still does occasionally.
It's been a while. Oh, look. Does anybody know what that is? I mean, besides $1 million worth of lumber?
That's the joke I was going to make.
What's that?
That's the joke I was going to make. I say your retirement savings in wood?
That's the crate for the FK1. It hasn't seen that in a while. So this bay right here is an 8 foot tall door, 16 wide, but it's 8 foot tall. This will be parking for this truck, and my black truck will be able to park in here. So, and then I'm not going to go over there, but that area over there, that's all Christmas storage if you can't figure that out. Probably should have made my screen full size, huh? So, and
if I
then
had the ability, I would, but I can't.
And then this is back to where Sean's area is. I wish I could get up high. Maybe I can. Maybe I can get high and show you guys.
I didn't even know you grew that there.
I'm gonna stand on Sean's bench here. Hopefully I don't fall. All right. So can you kind of get a scope for what's what? That's the 8 foot door. There's no door. Then there's two 16 by 12s. And right now we are 80 feet from the end. And then the last 20 feet is now the studio, what used to be known as the apartment. And if you look real hard in that video, there might be spoilers. Let's see if it's still raining out.
So is the apartment framed inside the garage, like it doesn't go all the way up to the top? Is that how it is?
Right, it's just inside. I'll give you a view. I'm going to give you a quick view of my collection out in the yard. That's all you get. You'll have to go back and watch later and pause the video. More spoilers might be in there. Yeah,
so it's building in building instead of picture in picture.
Right. It's 8 feet tall. The apartment is. The structure is 8 feet tall. It was originally supposed to be that high, which I think is 12 feet, because this was going to be a home theater originally. But that's why that wall is so much taller. But
I mean, that's a smart way to do it.
It didn't have any drywall on it. We added that when Sean got here. So, and again, I want to show you the bathroom, but it's pretty dirty. So, but you can see sink, toilet, urinal, oversized shower. And then this is just the utility area. There's going to be a hand wash sink here. And then this is actually where the drinking fountain is supposed to be, is right here. And then back.
Are you going to get a second drinking fountain? Are you moving that one? Or are you going to get rid of the, or just like close it off?
No, I'll probably move that one in here. That way I have an excuse to come in and stand in the air conditioning to drink water.
Okay, so now what we'll get you to do is we'll get you to switch to full screen and then do the full tour again.
Well, I mean, at this point, I mean, if there's questions, I'll answer questions. I can.
Brian says, boy, once he gets all the stuff out of there, you're going to be getting a lot of room back. Local maker, I don't want to say which state it is because I got it wrong last time and I may upset some people. But he says, I'm high watching, LOL. Hey, you know what? That's legal in Canada, and I know in some states Kay and I watched a show where it was a comedy. Go ahead. You're not back yet, just FYI.
I was gonna do that, but these hurt my ears. I can't wear earbuds; they hurt. All right, so
Kay and I were watching a show that takes place in a dispensary or whatever, and it was in a state where it's legal at the state level, but obviously not legal at the federal level. And did you ever watch the show Spin City?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the one guy that works for the mayor's office? Actually, I don't even know how to describe him. He's the chubbier guy, kind of goofy.
And he's on Goldberg's now.
I don't watch the Goldbergs, but maybe. You know what? I'll look him up real quick just to see.
Brian said that's a bike. I don't know what he was talking about.
I think he was talking about your top secret project under the thing. I think.
No. Yeah. No. And if you're talking about motorcycles, I don't do motorcycles. I have a speed addiction, and I don't mean like the drug speed. I mean like speed. If I owned a motorcycle, I would kill myself. So I decided long ago that I would never own a motorcycle.
You are correct. He is in the Goldbergs.
Okay.
Yeah, he's an FBI agent. So the FBI, the episode's like, I don't think you're ever going to watch it. Spoiler alert for anybody that's listening. But like, so the mother that owns the business decides that it's going to be a father and daughter, or a son and mother thing. So she splits it 50-50 with her son. And like, they're just celebrating the fact that he's now 50% owner. And the FBI comes in, or not the FBI, sorry. The DEA comes in to raid them. And he's a DEA agent. He's the head DEA agent. And he walks in and they're like, you're not going to be able to break us. And he still has that like goofy attitude that he has in everything.
Right.
So like, he's like, tell me where the money is. Don't say it's in the safe, because the safe is full of Snapple. And he goes over and opens the safe, and he's going through the different Snapple flavors. And he's like, can I get you one? Would you like a strawberry, whatever? And they keep telling him to bleep off and stuff like that. So he cracks one open. He's sitting there. He's like, the thing is, I need to go back to my bosses with something. And takes him, and I got it. And he starts drinking. He goes like this with his hand, like one finger up, like, and basically for like 20 seconds is just downing from the bottle. And he's like, oh, that's good. Anyways, so he plays the same goofy character, and then basically it turns out that he's playing the goofy character because he's supposed to be the good cop or whatever. And then he's like, hey, I can have your son in jail in 45 minutes. Where's the bleeping money? Like, and like drops all pretense of being nice about it. So then they're actually, you know what? It gets a little political after that. So I'll taper it off there. But it's not a great show, but it was funny enough that we watched it to the end. Like, a lot of it was stupid humor. They've got this couple that's they've been potheads for like years and years and years, and they get stuck on the roof without anything. And all of a sudden they're talking, and they're like, well, sorry, they get stuck on the roof without any way to light things. And they're like, oh, well, you know, in this movie. And then she's like, did you hear what I just said? I recalled a detail from a movie I saw 3 years ago. And they're like, oh. And then like by the end of it, they're like, I think it's time that we begin to plan our next 5 to 10 years of financial investments. And, I can write up a little, and like fully sophisticated. And then the guy realizes he has a matchbook. And then like 30 seconds later, they're back to their regular personas. Anyways. I don't know how I got off on that. Somebody saying that they were high while watching you.
Alan King said, that's huge. Never mind. Yeah, no. So Brian said, boy, once he gets all this stuff out of there, you're going to have a lot of room back. In fairness, to be fair, before Sean came in, that whole area was just full of junk. I cleared that area so that he could have an area. So because of the way I am, when he gets his stuff out of there, I'm probably just going to fill it back up with junk. So I wish I would have like had an image so that you guys could see. But right out this door where we step out in Sean's area there, that's going to be approximately a 14 by 20 room that will be the wood shop. Then to this side where the 8-foot door is, that's going to be an enclosed 2-car garage for my 2 trucks. Then forward from that is going to be roughly 20 by 20 area that will be the metal fab shop. And opposite that this way will be a roughly 20 by 20 area that will be the clean room, like where I can build motors, where the computer will be, where I'll keep all my RC car stuff, that kind of stuff. And then the last 40 by 40 where I'm working now will still remain 40 by 40 open workspace. Above everything in this 40 by 40, so above the wood shop, the 2-car garage, the clean room, the metal shop, is going to be Christmas light storage. There'll be a full upstairs. And when I say full, I'll have to walk like this, but it's a lot more storage than I have now for Christmas lights, and it'll be easier to put stuff away. Uncle Ron said stuff doesn't leave Glenn's garage. That's not true. I've gotten very good about throwing crap away. I've hauled so much stuff to the dump, and I've also gotten really good about turning stuff down when people offer me things. So Sergio said it's a racing motor. Nope.
Oh,
I will tell you, both those items have wheels on them. One you've probably never ever seen. The other one, you might have seen one, but you may never have seen one made by that particular manufacturer. And that's it. That's all you're getting out of me.
I think you told me about that one, although I'm drawing a blank, but I remember the overall.
Yeah. Well, you should know because the channel almost went that way.
Right. That was going to be the first big project.
Right. Yeah. When we released the Nissan video, and then there was that extended lull.
Yeah.
Because that's the way that it was going to go. So.
And you picked that up specifically because it's such an oddity, right?
No, I've actually had that since I was about 16.
Oh, a couple of months then.
Yeah.
You missed a question from local maker. Is it Missouri or Minnesota?
Michigan.
There we go. Too many MI states. Get your stuff figured out. Local maker Michigan. What are the plans for the 92 Chevy?
Oh,
I think you kind of touched on that. It's getting basically a full restoration and rebuild, right?
Yeah, there's not enough time in this stream for me to go through the whole thing, but the quick rundown is it's a 2-week repaint project that started somewhere between 25 and 30 years ago.
That explains the color choices.
Well, I bought that thing in brand new in 92. It was one of those conversion trucks that had the running boards, the nice fiberglass skirts and the wood trim interior and the pleather and all of that. And I drove it till I had about 136,000 miles on it, and the paint started to rot off of it like all GMs do. And I was doing some computer work for a body shop, and I started to trade them computer labor for body shop labor. It's got about $20,000 worth of work on it already from 20 years ago or 25 years ago. And that's as far as it's got. So right now it's going to get repainted. Unfortunately, the driver's doors or the passenger doors crashed. The guy who used to cut my grass ran into it with one of those big belly mowers and crashed the door. Would never admit it, but it just miraculously how the smash lined up perfectly with his lawnmower. But so it's the body work will get completed. The rest of the paint will be redone. It'll get a new interior, and I have a Chevy 7.4 454 big block engine that's going to go in that, and that's only a half-ton truck. So, and yes, you motorheads out there are going to say, just put an LS in it because you can get way more power out of an LS, and that is true. But there's just something spectacular about having a 454.5-ton truck. So, but that's the plan. But I've always. What's that?
You've said "but" so many times. It's all buts.
But the thing is, I've always said that truck, I will never, ever clip a corner on that truck. Everything has to be done perfectly, 100% to the best that I can do. And so that's really why it's taken so long. Oh, I didn't show you the boat that was in the back. If you go back through the video, I'm sure I caught it in there. There's a a boat in there. NA or boosted 454. Well, NA to begin with, and then the motor is in Daisy, the crashed up dually that I have. And again, pause the video, you'll see her if you haven't already seen her. I'm going to put the 454 in there as is. I'm just going to move it over, get everything running and done so that I know that it's good. Then that motor will come out and get built, and at that point, it's going to be, I don't know if single or twin yet, but it will be turbocharged. I think everything should be turbocharged. It's just the way it is. So
I can show off. So it was, I mean, it's still a little bit of a mess down here. We have been diligently working away, but I can show off because you're showing the amount of stuff that you've collected for future projects. So this will give people an idea of the number of computers there for future projects. And this isn't even all of them. I've got a closet over here that's also filled with them, and another thing that's over here. But
well, I have the truck. I have the 92 Chevy. That's going to be a future project. I have my 92 Eagle Talon. It's just coincidental that they're both 92s. I have a 92 Eagle Talon that will be becoming a project. The 66 T-Bird is going to be featured on the channel. I have huge plans for that. It may never be like the greatest looking car, but that thing is going to be so sweet when I'm done with it. There's another car coming as a project, and then I'll let this one slide out. I have a 2016 Toyota RAV4 that I'm going to put a 2-inch drop kit into, but I won't tell you why.
you'll have to wait and see in the video.
You'll have to wait for the video. But that work is actually going to happen. There was supposed to be a different car coming in like now, but the owner is out of state on vacation. So this one is actually going to come in. It's already here. I just didn't get to pull it in over the weekend. So that one will come in to start getting everything planned out this week. So that video will be very, very soon. Do the troopers know you by name? No, knock on wood, I haven't had a speeding ticket in a long, long time. And
I've never had a speeding ticket.
Never, ever?
Never, ever.
That's pretty impressive.
I have a completely clean driving record, unless you can count 2 parking tickets.
That's not really driving, so I wouldn't count those.
Yeah, no. I had never gotten a parking ticket. And the one day we were downtown Ottawa, and there was a private lot. Okay, so you can park in those lots for free on the weekends. I said, well, I think this is a private lot. I don't think it's not a City of Ottawa parking lot. She's like, no, you can park there for free. And we went out for dinner, and we're walking back 2 hours later, and I can see the ticket from about 150 feet away. And just because it's dark, and it's a bright white ticket, and it's on a what's basically a pitch black windshield. Windshield's a difficult word today. So like by the time we get there, I'm just fuming, and she's like, she ran ahead and took it. She's like, I'll take care of it. It's my mistake. Don't worry about it. And then I'm like, well, at least it's only $48. Well, it was like $150 ticket because it was private property. So she didn't tell me until after it was paid for that it cost us 3 times what I thought it did.
Wow.
I got pulled over for doing like 8 over in my hometown. And he's like, do you know how fast you're going? And I'm like, no. And he's like, you're doing 58. And I'm like, isn't it 50? He goes, yeah. And I'm like, in my head, it's always been like, unless it's like a very slow speed thing, it's like, as long as the first digit's right, they probably shouldn't bother you. And this is also kilometers per hour, right? So there's that conversion between miles.
Right,
so
right. So it's like 6 miles an hour or 3 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's it within like the margin for error in my books. So I was just kind of like paused. I'm like, okay. And he's like, so I'm going to let you off with a warning. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, thank you. And he almost looked perplexed why I wasn't more thankful. I was like, I'd actually almost rather get the ticket. So this becomes a funnier story. Like we have what's called demerit points in Canada. So if you're caught doing a certain amount over the speed limit, not only do you get a ticket, you get demerit points, and demerit points accumulate, and you can lose your license if you get too many of them.
Okay, that's kind of the way it works here too. Yeah,
and they also affect your insurance. So
Yep.
insurance sees it as like difference between like a minor, medium, and like major infraction. So we got lucky. I don't know if I should tell this story, but it's not that big. Mrs. Print and Play got a speeding ticket, and then a year and a half later got another speeding ticket. But the insurance doesn't renew your information every year, and she just lucked out that by the time they checked her information again, they were basically like expired tickets. So we never got an insurance hike off of either of them.
And now you've admitted it publicly.
I mean, it doesn't matter. It's up to them. I have no responsibility to call them and tell them, oh, by the way, my wife just got a speeding ticket.
Oh yeah.
Please ream us just a little bit more than you usually do.
Yeah, exactly. Brian said there's nothing wrong with tool hoarding, just normal hoarding. It depends on what you're hoarding. You know, if you're hoarding like a bunch of newspapers, that's never really going to be good for you. But I have a bad habit of keeping like pretty much drops of everything. Now, like if you keep drops from steel, that's great because you can turn it into something else. And if you have two small pieces of steel, you can weld them together and make one big piece of steel. But like 2x4s and stuff, like when I save the blocks just because a lot of times you might need to put it under a jack or you might need to, hammer something. So like I end up with all this crap, and that's the mentality that I'm trying to change as far as all of that stuff in there. Tom Lama said, oh, and welcome, Tom. He said, and the wife's car baking in the Florida sun, I guess, huh? Nope. This isn't even my only garage, man.
That's
so
like my final form.
On the house, I have what's known as the car park. And that is it's a 2-car garage and that's actually where the wife's car parks. And hopefully very soon, Xander's car will be in there as well. So it's not out in the sun, but her car has always been kept inside while my truck sat out in the Florida sun for years, like 10 years. It's only been now that it's gotten to park inside. So not the 92 show truck. That truck has been inside. For a long, long time now, but have you turbocharged your children yet? Well, one of them is naturally turbocharged. The other one's just lazy. Someone likes.
I'm just confirming before I show off any of the Steam Deck stuff that it doesn't show any of my information.
That's a good plan. Tom Lama said no speeding ticket. Sound like you had a boring teenage years.
Pretty boring.
I think about some of the things I did as an early driver. I should have gotten in way more trouble than I ever did. So,
in your formative years, as they say.
Yeah, like the town that I grew up in, the main strip through town was 35 miles an hour, and I used to go through there at 85. And I say 85 because that's where the speedometer stopped. So. I don't really know how fast I was going, but
you mean at least 85?
Yeah, no less than 85. Need a special word like torting. Okay, so here's the question: are you giving him a car, or is he buying his own? So I gave him a car. I bought his car. What, 6 months ago? No, a little longer than that. Right when my truck broke down, I bought that car so that I'd have something to drive while I rebuilt my truck. And then we just decided that would be Xander's car. I'm trying to think before I say that. I didn't actually buy my first car. My first car was given to me by my parents. However, I never actually owned that car. Like when I turned 16, it was my car, but I had to share it with my parents because my parents were still driving it as a daily driver. I did pay for my first car, which was a 1981 Isuzu Pup, which I'm still looking for another one. If anybody gets a lead on a semi-clean, they're pretty bad with rust, but I would like to replace that truck someday. Short bed. don't care if it's a diesel or gas because it'll get an LS in it. But that was my first car. I bought that from my sister for $300 cash money. Was in a gnarly car wreck with it. I got rear-ended by a Ford Bronco that got rear-ended by a full-size Chevy truck. The full-size Chevy truck was doing 55 when he hit the Bronco. They estimated the Bronco hit me at 45, messed my back up. I was able to buy the truck back from the insurance, put a new bed on it because the bed was completely crushed, put a new bed on it and had it painted. And 6 months later, I started shaving door handles and lowering it and all kinds of stuff. And that's when it all started. Yeah, that was a long time ago. I'll have to find pictures of that truck. So what kind of car is it? It is I don't even know if I want to tell. It is a 2018 McLaren, but he's going to drive it very safely. No, it's a 2006 Nissan Maxima. It's the one that's in the very first video on Fun King Garage. That's actually Sandra's car.
Go ahead.
I was going to build the T-Bird for him. Like I was going to do a father and son project where him and I built the T-Bird and have that as his first car, but he had no interest in coming out and turning wrench. So no T-Bird.
We have similar stories for our first vehicles because my first vehicle was like I didn't pay for it. My parents gave it to me. It was their hand-me-down van. It was a 1997. Wasn't it? Yeah, 1990. No, older than that. It was a Mazda MPV, and it was before the MPV went. Like originally, when the MPV came out, it was kind of targeting more the SUV market. So it had doors that folded open in the rear, so like the sliding doors.
Right.
And it had a head gasket leak, but it wasn't bad enough that it was worth tearing it apart and trying to fix it. And it had rust in the lower part. So my brother acquired some Mercedes gunmetal gray paint. So we did a 2-tone on it because it was cheaper than trying to match the color. And it ended up looking really nice when it was done. And my friends affectionately nicknamed it the MPV, the most powerful van. And there was a point we took it for a car wash, and I got the undercarriage wash, and it sprayed water up into the motor housing and stalled it because it sucked in water.
Oh.
So I ended up getting it running again. Like it didn't do any damage. I ended up getting it running again to get it out of there, but it was like groggy. So my buddy and I are on the way back to school, and we're sitting at a stoplight, and I'm revving the engine because I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't stall out again before it's evaporated all the moisture that's gotten into it. And there was a guy next to us who was in a Dodge Caravan, and he was in like a full business suit, and he looks over at us and he rolls down his window and he does one of these. Well, you can't see it, but you know, like the pull the trigger race thing, and starts revving his engine. He's got like a little 4-cylinder in it, and there's just these two vans at the light. That thing had a 6-cylinder engine that only had like 140 horsepower.
Well, I mean, I did have an early 90s Chevy Astro van that had a LT1 Corvette engine in it. That was a lot of fun.
That thing, I was driving out from school one day, and I paid to go out through the thing, and the guardrail dropped back down on it. I thought it was just rubber, so I drove through it, and it turns out it's like slightly flexible fiberglass, and it collapsed the whole one side of the roof. Like not bad enough to like, it was just the sheet metal that got flattened, but it had a roof rack on it. So every time it went up onto the roof rack, it came down and slapped it and made a deeper dent. So the top of it looked like a ripple chip. So when it finally came time to it being handed down, the original agreement was like, my parents would pay for half of our first vehicle. So they bought my brother a 1989 Mercury Cougar. Mercury. It was the Cougar, right?
Yeah.
So they were going to contribute that, and they're like, okay, well, you know, basically, your brother paid $2,250 or whatever for his, and we paid $2,250. So, you know, you give us $2,250 and the van's yours. And I said, well, hold on now. there's a lot of structural damage to it, and it looks like a rippled chip. Which my dad, like, I didn't know which way the joke was going to go, and he just started laughing. So, but yeah, that poor thing.
Tom Lama said Maximos are kind of nice cars. Had a girlfriend who had one. Loved the thing. It was kind of ballsy too. Yeah, ours is 235 horsepower. It's ridiculously fast for a 4-door sedan. And the new ones are like 325 horsepower.
Yeah, I should host it. Have you ever played a Jackbox game?
I don't think so.
We should do that at some point. It's like trivia based. It's over the internet.
You were telling me about that.
Yeah, and people can connect with a phone, so you get up to 8 players or whatever, and it'd be probably fun to do with the group here.
Yeah, but then we'd have to pick 6 other people.
Well, no, it's just first come, first serve.
Oh.
It displays the room code on the screen, and people connect, and you get in or you don't. And actually, like, you can have, I think, up to 100 people in it. It's just they end up in the audience, so they get stuff to do, but they're not part of the main game.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should work that out.
I'm gonna launch it.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I was just gonna. I'm gonna launch it just to see how it looks and how it plays through. We don't have to actually play it today, but I'm just curious how it's gonna work.
Uncle Ron said, "Didn't you get the Nissan about May of last year? I think that's when I registered my black truck in Florida." That's very possible. I think I bought it when the truck first started giving me fits because I knew that it was nearing its end, and I knew that it was not going to be cheap. I have spent about $19,000 doing the conversion on that truck. And now I say that that's not counting any money that I've gotten back from selling parts and all of that. So the investment to do it is about 19 grand. And yet it's still about $6,000 cheaper than it would have been for me to put another Ford engine in there and have to drive around, with my cheeks clenched, not knowing if it was going to die again.
I mean, you usually drive around with your cheeks clenched, right?
Sometimes. I sure wish I could drive that truck. I bet it drives really nice right about now. So I want to look because I want to say, and Sergio, you can say yay or nay. I think it was Sergio that made the comment about my headlights looking so crap when I first pulled that thing into the garage. But I didn't want to buy new ones yet because I wanted to make sure that the truck ran and everything was okay with it before I spent money on the headlights. But I had some Amazon gift cards. Thank you to everybody who has ever bought anything through my affiliate links. You're awesome. Those gift cards they just help. They help a lot. And then so I covered about half the cost of these by gift card, and so then I went ahead and took the plunge and bought these, and I still have more wiring to do. And of course there'll be a video coming up all about it. But yeah, Sergio said it was him. But I knew those headlights, I tried to clean it, not with a professional kit. I just tried to clean them up, and they have micro cracks all through them and stuff. And I knew they weren't. Plus, the factory headlights are ugly and they don't light well. I've always hated the high beams on them. So now I got to finish getting the switchbacks wired up on these and get them adjusted properly. Plus, the regular headlights are LED and the high beams are halogen, and they're really cheap halogen bulbs. So they're brown. You have this crisp white headlight, and then you flip on your brights, and the light is just brown. And it's nope. So I bought some LED bulbs for them, but they don't fit because of the fans on the back of the LED bulbs, and so I just decided that I was going to go with Sylvania Ultras. By the way, did Grandma come back on her scooter for round 2? No, I've never seen that lady on the scooter before, and I haven't seen her since. But it's fun. Paul Cumber said, "Hey Glenn, any new 3D printer?" Nope. and there probably won't be. I think the only printer that I would buy going forward, I may buy a new Prusa at some point, but
I was considering maybe the Prusa XL at some point. But I guess you don't need a large printer, do you?
no, I just gotta fix this one.
So
Tell
this
Mama,
is
tell Mama said I love my Ford truck, just nothing Ford made for it. No, I love my Ford truck. The body is amazing. The interior is super comfortable.
just a crappy engine.
Just a crappy engine and ugly headlights.
So this is the way it works. So if you load up jackbox.tv on your cell phone and enter that code, then it puts us in the same room.
Oh, that's neat.
And then basically I share the screen here so you can see what's going on because it posts, like, this is a trivia game, so it'll post trivia questions. And everybody else can then watch it through the stream and answer those questions on their phone.
Oh, we might have to see if we can get some prizes.
They can all have parts from your old engine.
Yeah. No, those are valuable.
What are you saying? Those are valuable, unlike our viewers?
Unlike the prizes we would give away.
That's fair.
That engine in the condition it's sitting in is worth at least $2,500. If the front front cover on that thing is good and it's not all cavitated inside from the water pump, those things sell $500 just for the aluminum front cover, and you can't buy them new apparently anymore. So Paul Cumber said, "Do you know what Ford meant first on race day? It stands for fix it again, Tony." You're talking about Fiat, Dale.
That's a joke from King of the Hill, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dale
Dale,
said
you're
that.
thinking about Fiat.
You know what Ford stands for, don't you? Fix it again, Tony. Damn it, Dale. Brian wants to know why not a Lulzbot Pro. If it's directed to me, I haven't followed a lot of the Lulzbot stuff. I know that, you know what, I'm not going to burn any bridges. Let's just say that. I'm not going to make any comments.
Yeah, I don't know. The Lulzbot stuff's pretty nice. I had the pleasure of working on one at my first Orlando Maker Fair that I ever went to, which is a fun story because I went there hoping to see all this 3D printing stuff, and the only 3D printer I could find in the whole place was owned by these ladies who make chocolate. And of course, my question to them was, do you use it to print chocolate? And they said, no, we print out things and then we vacuum mold them. And then we use the vacuum molds to make the chocolate. And I said, well, that's really cool. And she said, well, we just bought it and it's not working right. So I spent the whole weekend just tuning that thing in, making everything. And then now I have friends for life. I mean,
and they'll admit that too?
Oh yeah. So, but I don't know. They make a good product, but I don't know. There's like other options for the money, I guess.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that you offered to show them your chocolate extruder and you got kicked out.
No.
It only prints it prints in multiple shapes, but I can't pick which one it is.
No, that was the year I came and I got on stream and I made a comment about how there was no 3D printing presence there, and it was very disappointing. And then came in from Gainesville Maker Fair, reached out to me and pretty much said, put up or shut up, and said you need to come exhibit at Gainesville Maker Fair. And that's actually where I met Uncle Ron the first time in person. He came down to Florida. And
Miracle you did any more after that.
No, he won't come back now. No. Uncle Ron's dad lives like 15 minutes from me. And so Uncle Ron comes all the way down to Florida and then drives like an hour and a half from here to go to Gainesville to go to the Maker Fair. And then, and let me tell you, Uncle Ron, go like this, la, 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 so you can't hear what I'm saying. It was absolutely a godsend having Uncle Ron there that weekend. I had a massive, massive migraine, and he like pretty much unloaded the truck and helped set up and just brought a bag of bagels that was the size of a dump truck. And that's not like
Uncle
an
Ron always
exaggeration.
shows up with food. My first experience was him showing up at Murph with those boxes of New York pizza.
Well, and he brings me crave cases of White Castle and stuff, but
I've yet to have White Castle.
He was absolutely a blessing to have there, and it turned out to be. It was a good maker fair. It was in a terrible location. It was a non-air conditioned building, and it was very tight and cramped and stuff. But it was still good. The guys who put that show on did a really good job. The next year it got bigger, and unfortunately, that was the last year that they were able to do it. But
is it never happening, or it got shut down because of stuff?
Well, the next year I think it got shut down because of stuff, and then they just couldn't financially recover to do it. So venues in Gainesville, like your choices are everybody meet in this woodshed, or everybody meet in this stadium. Like there's nothing in between as far as venue goes. So the venues are very expensive for anything that's decent. So Uncle Ron said that building should have been condemned. I think it was actually. It was a maker space. They had a 4x8 laser table in there that was just donated to them. But like they were actively welding and stuff in there while people were in there for the show, which was crazy. And then to get to the bathroom, you needed a torch and a map, and maybe a machete. Like you had to go into this like dungeon to go around to get to this bathroom that was a dungeon. Like it was just awful. It was awful, but it was a good time, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. Walter was there, Uncle Ron was there, Happy Ron was there. Obviously we were there. Shom, Skewed View 3D was there. That was the first time I met him as well. I think that's all the 3D printing. But like, we went from Uncle Ron says Shom. We went from no 3D presence at Orlando Maker Faire to 50% of Gainesville Maker Faire was 3D printing, and then we did all of that again at Orlando Maker Faire that year. Like we bombarded them with 3D printing. And then Farts was created.
I thought that was after White Castle.
No, it's Saturday night of Orlando Maker Faire. We go to Golden Corral. You go for the farts and you leave with the poops. I've never ever eaten at Golden Corral that I didn't leave there with a sick stomach. Because I always overeat. You got to get your money's worth.
So I think I talked about last week. Kay and I discovered Wendy's breakfast last week.
Yep.
So we woke up this morning, and I don't know which one of ours idea it was, but do you want to go get that breakfast again? So she puts the order in through the mobile app, because like I said last time, it's about a half-hour drive from here, maybe a little bit longer than that. So we get there. They open at 7. It's 8:30. The doors are locked, and the drive-thru's got a cone in it, but we've put the order through the mobile thing, which says that they're currently open. And there's a single employee that we see, and he's outside in the back working in the dumpster area, and he looks at us and then like basically turns around and goes back in so he doesn't have to talk to us. And I'm like, I have no idea. So we park, and like, because at this point we don't know that the doors are locked. I go up, and sure enough, it's closed. And it's like, oh, the dining room isn't open for breakfast, only the drive-through. Like, well, nothing is, but like somebody's gone in and put down all the chairs and everything, and like you can tell that, unless that's the way they left it the night before, which maybe. But so I got back into the car, and I'm like, everything's locked up, and we only saw that one employee, and I'm not going to go, bother him because for all we know, like maybe everybody called in sick except for that guy. And he's like, well, I can't run the shop myself. So like, I'm unreasonably angry with this situation because we got up early and drove in, but yeah. It turns out that there's like another Wendy's less than 2-minute drive away from, so it didn't matter.
Wow.
But fix it again, Tony.
Brian said, at least you have that. Here in New York, we have nothing. New York used to have New York Maker Faire, which was huge. Xander and I were at New York Maker Faire in 2017.
I could have
And-
been there.
What's that?
I could have been there.
Yeah, you could have been.
My only time ever being in New York, I was there for a week, and it overlapped with that. But I was there for work, and I couldn't make it work.
I remember that.
That was that
But-
video. Remember the video that got filmed for me with Joel, and then I did the video of me slapping the monitor.
The high five monitor. Yep.
I'm gonna post that in chat again. That always gets a chuckle out of people.
Oh my god, I laughed so hard. Yeah, so that was the first thing that Xander and I had ever gone to, the first meetup or event or anything. And I was like, I don't get starstruck, but it was very surreal to me because we went to the maker meetup that happened the Thursday night before, or maybe it was Friday night. Not important. But for those of you who are not familiar with New York, you can't just park where you're going. That doesn't work. So we had to park like 6 blocks away and walk to this place. And like as we're walking in here, like here's all these 3D printing YouTubers just like hanging out. Here's Angus from Maker's Muse, just like standing in the road, and like it was just really surreal. Just like, holy crap, that's Angus, which super nice guy, very shy actually, but super nice guy. Like I kind of stood. I didn't want to interrupt him. And I kind of stood there for a minute, and he looked up at me, and I said, "Hey, I don't want to be like that guy, but I'd really like to shake your hand, And so, and then we went inside, and everybody was already inside, and it was magnificently fun. So. Ryan said, I'm like an hour 45 from Toronto. Well, I'm like 24 hours from New York, and I still went. It was, so I'm trying to remember the timeline. I think we went to New York Maker Faire and then Orlando Maker Faire. And I was so glad that it went that way, because Orlando Maker Faire is 1,000% more organized than New York Maker Faire was. So had they happened the other way, I'd have been really mad. But like we got to the gates at New York early and got in line because we wanted to be one of the first ones in. They let you through the ticket thing, and then you line up, and then that's where like people are entertaining and all the media is there and stuff, and we wanted to be involved in all that. And we waited in line for like 40 minutes, and then they were like, "Oh, if you already have a ticket, you're supposed to be over in this line." But there was no signage. So I was pretty pissed. But we weren't 25 feet into the Maker Faire. Like we're walking in, and all of a sudden somebody yells, "Fun King!" And I turn around, and it's this guy, and he's like, "Oh, I love watching your videos." And I'm like, "You don't watch my videos." And he's like, "Oh, I watch your videos all the time." I'm like, "Nah, you don't." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I love it." And I'm like, and it was just like super surreal to be recognized. And then I stopped making videos.
That must have gone right to Xander's head.
What's that?
That must have gone right to Xander's head.
Oh yeah, well, he was like, people are gonna be asking us for autographs, and I'm like, no, they're not, buddy. Oh yeah, they're gonna want autographs and pictures. So I had it set up with Pooch. Pooch was gonna find him right away and ask him for an autograph, but it actually happened before that. So, but yeah, and Xander did some like a quick video interview with Joel, which absolutely just made his day. That boy. He worshipped the ground that Joel walks upon. Joel gave me a piggyback ride, but whatever.
I had curiosity on my side. I was wondering if my phone would support the HDMI out built into that dock, so I switched off my camera so you guys wouldn't see my cell phone screen, but it didn't work. I was pretty sure it didn't. I'm pretty sure I looked it up, but I'm like sitting here, I'm looking, I'm like, There's so many things that this could solve instead of me having to carry like a Fire Stick or whatever with me when we go away places. I could just plug my phone in. But
I have, well, maybe not for this phone. I have a cable for one of my older phones that plugged in and it had an HDMI out.
I had one for my Samsung Note 3.
That might have been about the time I had one.
And it had that, it was like MHL or something like that is the name of the technology,
Yeah,
the video out thing. I had the cable for that one. But I think TV out or video out on phones has kind of died away because I don't think a lot of people used it.
Yeah. No, I usually just bring my laptop and then.
Brian's an hour 45 away from Toronto. I'm 4 or 5 hours away from Toronto myself. Okay, so to be fair, up until about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I did have a BlackBerry. I had an Android.
You were diehard BlackBerry.
I was diehard physical keyboard.
Yeah.
It was an Android-based BlackBerry phone, and I only liked it because of the keyboard. And now I've passed that phone on to Kay's mom, who likes it because it's easy to text on.
I am. Come on. I am 19 hours and 26 minutes from Toronto.
Driving?
Yeah.
That's not as bad as I thought it was. Okay, what about if you're driving to Ottawa? That gets you close enough to me. I feel like it's going to be like between 23 and 24 hours.
Uh, 20 hours and 54 minutes.
Well, that's not bad. If you left now, you could be here for dinner tomorrow.
That's driving straight through with no sleep.
Yeah.
And that also doesn't include fuel stops.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm giving you 24 hours so you can use that, the extra less than 3 hours, however you see fit. You want to take an hour nap and then refuel and maybe go to the washroom once or twice?
It would have been in the early 90s. I drove from roughly the Orlando area, a little bit south of Orlando, which is an hour and a half south of here, to New Hampshire. And that was just slightly under 24 hours.
Paul Cumber wants to know what we recommend for a motherboard upgrade. I'm going to defer out of this because I'm still running 8-bit boards on all of my machines at this point.
Are we talking about computer motherboards?
I'm assuming he's talking about main board for a 3D printer.
Well, that's going to depend on the 3D printer. Of course, if a computer motherboard, it's going to depend on the computer. Pretty much, if you have to buy a new motherboard for your computer, you're also buying a new chip and RAM.
That's what I was going to say, is that it's an even far more specialized question for a computer than it is for a 3D printer.
3D printer.
I think almost all of my machines, with the exception of the Pruzas, are running MKS Gen Ls, which is old tech at this point, but they work, and I haven't seen anything that's going to revolutionize the way I do things. So, I just realized I set a printer to preheat like 2 hours ago when I've turned off my camera the first time because I was like, I need to print a dock for the Steam Deck, and then I did nothing.
Does yours not shut down? I have a plugin in Octoprint that shuts mine off.
I think it does, but I'm just gonna go double check. Give me 2 seconds. I'll stay on camera. As you guys don't want you guys seeing my butt, which is in pants. Just
people pay extra for that. I don't. I really don't. It's got to be because I was printing PLA on this thing, and I know that the wind mouth is damaged from when I gooped this thing up. But I started that print. It was supposed to be like a 4-hour print, and I started it at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and I left it, and then I went to check on it because I have a camera on that one, and I went to check it later from upstairs, and it said that it had gotten thermal runaway. And when I checked the chart, it was actually a dip in temperature. It didn't overheat, it underheated. So I think when the part cooling fan kicked on, I think that's when it did it in. So I think that wind mouth, and for those of you who don't know, the fan nozzle is referred to as a wind mouth by ANET. That's why I call it that. Oh, we got spam bot. All right, listen, we have 400 moderators in here, and nobody can take care of this.
You're all fired. From a cannon into the sun.
Make sure that you click on the report.
Or
Report pornography. Wow, we moved up in the world because we haven't had a spammer in a while. So now, what you guys don't get to see, James and I have a secondary chat window that's part of StreamYard, and when you guys type a comment and then you delete it, we still get to see it, which is fun. And then also, anytime that somebody gets deleted, their comments get deleted by us, we still see it. But let's definitely ban. We're gonna block those users. Now, if you guys want some sexy chat, I mean, if you're willing to pay for it, I'll give you some of that.
I'm doing sexy chats. Yeah.
Good job, guys. Good job. Now I forgot what I was doing. I was distracted by sexy chat. It's an adult dating site. Much better than those children dating sites.
Yikes, that'll get you put on a list. Just saying it.
I mean, at the point somebody's typing that in, let's put adult dating site. Like it's going to be any other option. All right, so I think that we were back. Bad spam bot. This is a family channel. All right, so back to. Adam said, "I'm still waiting for James's OnlyPants account."
My OnlyPants account?
OnlyPants.
OnlyPants. That makes sense.
Yeah. So Paul was asking about a board for his VoxLab 3D printer, and I was talking about the fact that I need to print a wind mouth. So I will get all of that. I'll probably just print it through the week. What I'm printing now is actually my tools for drilling and tapping V-slot aluminum extrusions from OpenBuilds, openbuilds.com. And the reason that I am is because I had a user reach out to me about it. He's building something, but he doesn't have a 3D printer. And so I told him that I would go ahead and print those out for him.
Well, that's sweet of you.
I know, it's because I'm so awesome.
And humble.
Oh, I'm super humble. I'm probably the most humble person.
And I'll be the first one to tell you. Are you familiar with the statement fig jam?
The statement what?
Fig jam. F-I-G. Wait. Yeah, F-I-G-J-A-M.
No.
It stands for frick, I'm good. Just ask me.
Oh. Here, I thought we were talking about cream cheese and pepper jelly.
Fig jams.
Come on, can anybody tell me what that's a reference to?
Nope.
Bonus points if you can. It's something that I've talked about recently.
Your chronic case of diarrhea.
Oh, that was last week. That was horrible. It was like 4 days.
Do you guys still have Thingiverse for your models, or do you go over to the Prusa one now, whatever they're calling it now, or?
They call it like prints.com or something. I don't know.
I think I'll just go over to the Creality one because it's got all of them, including all the paid ones from everybody.
Right. Yeah. By somebody else. Right.
Yep.
Printables.
By the way, I have a new favorite filament color, teal, says Brian. It's so different. It's cool.
I don't know if I have any teal. I as I'm looking around like I'm going to see some. I haven't brought. That's the only roll of filament I've brought down from upstairs. Oh, the upstairs, like I literally took everything out of there that I wanted, and the rest of it's just like still a trash mess up there. So Adam said I still go to Thingiverse first. I do too, because it's where my collections are, and it gets saved in my shortcuts. Like it's so quick to get there. Plus, I have their ads blocked anyway, so it's fine. So, Ultimaker bought MakerBot,
I saw that.
which I mean, is MakerBot anything but Thingiverse anymore?
I don't
I
know.
mean, are they anything anymore? But it'll be very interesting now to see what happens to Thingiverse. I know this is going to fail, but I'm going to try it again. So I've kind of run into a situation, Maker. I've run into a situation since I moved down here, and that is that there is a certain number of tools that I had upstairs because of the 3D printing, but they're tools that I've become accustomed to having upstairs, like like my caliper, my wonderful Rex Betty caliper. I have one down here, but it's out in my toolbox, and it's like I feel like I should have one in here too, but that's now becoming 3 sets of tools. You know, and it's like I don't know, that might be getting out of hand, but
Did I tell you I kept losing the most common sizes of hex wrench? So I ordered a 50 pack of like the little cheap ones that you get with 3D printers, just so I always know where there's one that I can go and grab if I can't find my good one.
you got to get a set of these ones. These, I think it was Tom Lama that turned me onto these Bond Haas. They're like a screwdriver. Can you see that?
Very handy.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, they're pretty slick. So I went to do something. Oh, I was adjusting the mounts on these lights the other day. And the one of them was like mission critical tight for some reason. And I thought, I didn't bring my T-wrenches down. So I thought, I'm going to have to go out to the garage, you know, which is like 80 feet from here. But then I remembered that I had those. So. Brian said you could always wait until the part cooler turns on and then turn down the fan speed so it doesn't fail it, which I've actually done that before. The problem is like as it moves through the layers, it'll turn it back up again. I'd have to be here for every call to the fan. I just need to fix the printer. I just need to print a new wind mouth, which will be printed out of PETG, so it doesn't use the fan. I just realized I didn't turn the air conditioning down in here today, but I suppose because it was so much cooler outside, it wasn't so bad. Oh, it's 6:30.
It's 6:30, you say?
It is.
Do you know what time do you go to the dentist?
2:30.
Yeah. I feel like I've told that one before.
Well, and then I'm always on a quest to find dad jokes. Listen, I can't tell Zach these dumb jokes because like I just start to tell it and the look on his face, and then I can't get it out. Like it makes me laugh so much. What was the last one that I told him? Oh, a drummer friend of mine had twins. He named them twin girls. He named them Anna 1, Anna 2.
Man.
But I always go to him like real serious. I'm like, oh yeah, a drummer buddy of mine just had twin girls. And he goes, He just
Like
knows
he knows it's coming.
He knows it's coming, and then I can't get the punchline out. I never put up Sergio's banner for today for his $9.99 donation for New Garage Door Fund. So next week, we got to talk about next week, but next stream, I will make sure that Sergio gets his due. He'll never be a stand-up Glenn. I am a stand-up Glenn. I'm a very much stand-up Glenn. You owe us 5 minutes for being early. Well, it's not 6:32, so I only owe 3 more minutes.
Did you figure out for next week yet, or did you come to a decision? Because
no. All right. So that the hive mind knows, James is not going to be here next week. So I haven't decided if I'm going to do a solo run, if I'm going to find a guest host, or if I'm just going to cancel. But of course, watch my Twitters for updates. But I'll probably stream either way, and maybe I'll work on the FK1. I got to get some bodies in here because I want to get that glass plate out from underneath it. But
you need at least 2 people to hold the printer while you do that.
Well, I need 2. Like I need another body to move the printer, and then 2 bodies to move I can lift that glass by myself, but it's kind of gangly and it's ridiculously heavy. So, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with that glass. I don't want to get rid of it, but I just think it would be nice to be able to get up underneath there and access the main board.
Oh, I think it makes a lot of sense to do it that way.
Well, and like I could figure out somewhere else to put that board. Like I could mount it off of the back or whatever, but I wanted it out of view. I think that where it is a fantastic place. So that's where it's going to stay. I still got to do a little bit of wiring in here. For whatever reason, get Chris Riley to do a guest appearance. That man is busy. We try to get him on here all the time.
He has an open invitation, and basically he'll let us know whenever he's got time available, and he'll drop in.
Yeah, but my network cable runs. The switch is right outside the door, the network switch, and then it's fiber into the house. But the switch then has a piece of network cable running. If I plug the computer directly in here, I get blazingly great speeds, like 800 megabit. But it then runs to a switch that's in this cabinet so I can run my pies and stuff. The problem is when I run through that switch, which is a gig switch, all of a sudden the computer is only like 100 megabits. So it is possible that the cable between the computer and that hub is not right. Like maybe I did something funky with that cable. So I haven't thoroughly tested that yet. The other option is to run a new cable from the switch out there and put a jack on the wall over here. But that's time. And for those of you who don't know, I'm trying to balance at least one other YouTube channel.
Speaking of which, I forgot to say, yesterday, Print and Play Retrospective hit 700 subscribers.
Well, congratulations.
My goal is 1,000 by the end of the year. We're not on track for that, but that is the goal. It only takes one video, though, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, okay, so I watch my stuff on Social Blade constantly, like to an unhealthy level.
I usually have it open somewhere so that it'll play the chime if I gain subscribers.
Well, I have stream labels for that. In fact, I can say huge shout out to I'm gonna mess this up, Fra Erasmus, for subscribing 8 days ago to Fun King 3D. But it's also really hard. Don't ever name your 2 YouTube channels close to each other. Because I did my intro for Fun King Garage today and said, I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D. Well, that's weird. Maybe I fat fingered that, but Social Blade is telling me there is no such. Oh yeah, I must have fat fingered it. So I'm averaging like 1 sub a day. I'm at 230 right now. I got a nice little boost because somebody was really cool and posted my video to Reddit. Would it kill the rest of you to help out? No. Or you need a signal booster. No, everything's wired. No, I don't run Wi-Fi if I can help it. Yeah, I mean, the number of views that my stupid headlight polishing short got, it got like 2,500 views, which was just nuts. And I realized it doesn't really help, but it still gets the name out there. Let's see, where are we at? Still on layer 1. That fan won't kick on until layer 2 or 3, I think. You have too many funny kings going on to know which one to follow. You have to follow all of them. My problem is my brain doesn't know which one to follow. But I don't know. So I probably will do a stream next week. I may be like Sans James. I know that Mitch has been wanting to come back on, which he's not been in here tonight, at least not that I've seen. So maybe I'll rattle his cage and see if he wants to guest host. It's just nicer when somebody can keep an eye on chat. Or I'll con the wife into coming out and reading chat while I'm working on the FK1. Which I should probably, I think tomorrow night I'll do a quick inventory and see if I need to order some wire, because my plan is just to fix the harness for now. I really need to build a whole new harness, but I want to take some time and do some proper research to find better connectors. I think I'm using JST connectors on that thing right now. And although they're kind of small, they're really not. They're kind of cumbersome as well. But I like having the connectors at certain points so that I'm not having to replace the entire harness if it goes bad. But they make wire boost. Oh yeah, I know, but it shouldn't be necessary, Brian. Really, it shouldn't. And I made another cable because when I first ran into the problem, I made a cable that would reach. In fact, it's in the box, to reach from the computer right out to that hub, and it just immediately the speed kicked back in. So I don't know. It's not really that it's a problem. I mean, it's a problem, but it's a time problem. I just haven't had the time to dedicate to it. So
I will say now, I wish I had taken the time to start that print at the beginning of the stream, because my Prusa is broken.
Oh no.
And I just discovered it now, and I'm probably not going to have time to fix it this week, which is unfortunate because I had a print I need to do this week. The bed moves completely freely in one direction, but when it moves in the other direction, it almost sounds like rubber binding somewhere, but I can't find where it's catching. So I'm assuming it's the bearings, and like the sound is just familiar. So I'm assuming it's rubber.
Huh.
Like if I move, I can't move the camera, but I can get the audio probably. I can bring you guys with me. I didn't bother to turn off the camera this time. So you can still hear me okay, I'm assuming?
Yep.
So let me untangle this a little bit here. Okay, so if I move the bed towards the back, can you hear that?
Do it again.
Well, the problem is I'm going to move it the other way now, and you're going to hear the different sound.
Oh, yeah. That's like a windshield wiper blade on a dry windshield.
Right? So you can see right off the bat, like it sounds like rubber binding up somewhere. But if I move it towards the back, it's perfectly quiet.
Huh. Well, I know the bearings have a rubber dust boot on them, but you don't by chance have a bunch of filament wrapped around the pulley.
I do not. But Yeah, I don't know. And it's only in one direction. And the resistance strong enough that the bed thought that it had crashed.
So then it's not, well, could still be the motor.
I guess that's the next thing I should do is
Oh, I missed it.
what?
I wasn't paying attention, and it got the thermal runaway.
Sorry, I'm a distracting person.
No, I was busy looking at Nightbot, but yeah, that's what it's doing is it's turning the fan on, and it's dropping about 20 degrees.
I don't think I have a small enough torque wrench or a hex wrench handy because I'd like to just detach the. Like even if it's the pulley at the front, just to see if it, because like if I'm not spinning the motor anymore and it still makes the sound, then I know that the issue is the bearings.
Yeah, Bob Carn said, pull the belt, move the bed to see if it's bearings. Could be bearings in the stepper. Tom Lama sounds like jammed idler bearing. Belt is sliding instead of bearing spinning, which could be like the bearings may only be spinning in one direction. Brian wants to know if your pulley's bent. That's a very personal question.
Okay, well, I'm loosening the idler pulley because that's the easiest one for me to get to from where I'm at.
Uncle Ron wants to know how long my cable is. So the cable that gives me good speed, if I run it all the way to the switch out there, is probably 40 feet. This one goes from just right here, goes around the back of the room, so it's probably 20 feet to the cabinet, and then another 20 feet coming out of that switch around to the back of the machine. But I used some new type of ends that's got the shuttle in them, and I don't really like it. So I might have done something bad. Brian said, yeah, is your pulley bent or pinched?
So I'm detaching the pulley as we speak. And then we'll see if it still does it without the belt actually doing anything.
I got to make sure I close chat this week.
Now I can feel it feels like a bearing jumping.
In the motor or a bed bearing?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Hold on. Yeah. Yep. So if I discovered this at the beginning of the stream, I might have it fixed by now.
Yeah, you could have fixed it during the stream.
That is unfortunate. What can you do?
I don't know. Did we ever come up with a consensus on whether or not I should reprint all of the Prusa parts in yellow?
We came up with pros and cons. I don't think we came up with a definitive yes or no.
I mean, the thing is in orange, everybody knows what it is.
Yep.
Wow, that orange I'm printing with is really close to Prusa's orange. I don't know. It just kind of seems like an oddball that it's. The longer the cable, the weaker the speed. Yeah, but it's not even close to the cable length, Brian. I mean, you can go 300 meters, and I'm like 40 feet. So, I just think maybe I did bad. Tom Lama said probably need a new rod or two, then bearing might have dug a groove. Well, if that's the case, you could grab the rod and turn it. Like you could
just rotate it so that the groove isn't pointed to where the balls are.
Yeah, like 45 degrees and see if that makes a difference.
Well, I think he's more like, because if the bearings weren't a groove in it, then, well, I see what you're saying. I can actually, one of them I can rotate freely. I guess I can do that one too. Let's see.
Little yellow.
Look at that. Oh, spinning it freed it up for a second, and now we're back to
So maybe those bearings are just dried out.
Well, I mean, I could re-lubricate them, but
Pack them full of PTFE lube.
okay. So I wonder if there's something that's gotten stuck on the rods, because right now I can move it freely for a few millimeters, and then it starts to squeak again. So I don't know if, well, let me see.
Tom said, yeah, but you still have the groove and it'll wear the bearing wiper seal. But if you turn it, then it's in a different spot and it may make a different noise. And then that kind of gives you an idea that might be what it is. James,
the tracks for the bearings stay exactly where they are. So if I have grooves worn in them, and then I were to rotate the rod so that like assuming I've replaced the bearings at this point, not if I can get the new bearings resting on smooth spots of the track, it may not be an issue.
Yeah, as long as it's not like sharp or causing major, like if it's massively worn, then you're going to lose lubrication through there. But James's Prusa is not that old.
No, it's a little over a year old. It's been sitting for a couple of weeks at this point, but yeah, I think it's one of the bearings is shot, and I think this free spot is like it's one of the bearings, like the bearings, they're the ball bearings within the bearing are rotating freely until they get stuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it definitely, I can at least tell which side it's coming from. It's coming from the side with the single bearing. So,
thanks for being here, Tom. Well, it is unfortunate that you didn't realize it in the beginning.
Yep. But what can you do?
Well, you can wait till next week. Oh, that's right. You're not going to be here.
And I need to print something for next week. Yeah. There's like, I don't know exactly what the... But,
well,
okay.
I mean, if you got like some 3-in-1 oil, you can kind of drip it down in there and see if it...
Yeah, I tried. I cleaned the rod and put a little bit of the oil on it and just sort of ran it back and forth over it, but it doesn't feel like it's freeing it up. And I don't want to do it so much that I gouge it, because this is a new issue. It wasn't doing this last time. It just been sitting for a little while.
Well, I mean, the thing is, there's a rubber seal on there, so if you're putting the lube on the rod, as you're pulling it, you're going to wipe the lube right off.
Yeah, very little of it's going to end up on the inside.
Yeah.
That's kind of the whole point, so that dust doesn't end up in them. Well, I guess we should shut it down then.
Shut her down. Yeah, I'm going to... I think I'll put in an order to print it solid this week and get some parts for my Prusa, give it an overhaul. Maybe if I get the parts in, maybe I'll do that next week instead. Then I can watch chat and work on the printer at the same time. But
makes sense to me.
Either which way at this point, just everybody know that I'm leaning towards still having a stream next week, even without James. If it goes well, maybe I'll continue. No, I'm just kidding.
Womp womp.
I wouldn't want to do this without James. So,
alrighty. Well, I think it's dinner time for both of us.
No doubt. I'm hungry. You got anything you want to promote?
Nope. I'll have a new video out this week, most likely. It's all filmed, and the first 2 minutes are edited.
I'm hoping I will have a video out this week, because it's been far too long already. So, and then we are still we're hammering out the details for getting the Xander's Thing Thursday back up and going. I think that's going to be fun, but yeah, so 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, if I have a video, that's when it'll be out, and that's on the Garage channel. Otherwise, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. And I say that every week, and it's kind of become a thing, but I really mean it, because these streams would be totally senseless to do if nobody watched. So we appreciate you tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the Garage tour. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I may or may not answer, depending on the questions that you ask, like what's under the sheet.
Nope.
You just have to wait and find out. But otherwise, we do thank you. We do appreciate you being here. And we're going to do it again. I mean, at least next week, I'll be doing it again.
I'll be back the week after.
But definitely the week after, we'll be back doing it again. So thank you guys. And until next time. What's that?
It's been a while since we did a Minecraft stream, so maybe we'll plan that in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that'd be fun. Definitely. So thank you all. And until next time, as always,
Print on.